In today's show, Nixie looks back at the season that was.
I was proud to walk into the change rooms after our first win and see smiles on people's faces.
Inside Gibbsy's fairy tale farewell, and we get the last word from the leadership group. Hello everyone and welcome to the Optus Crows Show. I'm Alana Smith. Well, this afternoon the club will finish their 2020 season with a game against Richmond at Adelaide Oval. It's been a big year for rookie coach Matthew Nicks, who has been determined to implement a team-first philosophy while rejuvenating the playing list. Nixie has certainly embraced every challenge that has been thrown at him, and now he's reflecting on his inaugural year in charge.
Challenging would be probably the key word. That doesn't mean I haven't really enjoyed it. I love a challenge, so it's actually been rewarding, to get to where we have now as a group, to get reward for the effort we've put in right throughout the year. That externally, you couldn't see. Ultimately, we win. We are in a win-loss industry, so the challenges are that you're judged by that.
In he comes, siren sounds, and the drought breaks.
Key lesson number one is stick to your guns. Trust the process, trust what it is you value. We've got an overriding philosophy of prioritising others. I think our team now, the individuals within our team are doing exactly that, both on and off the field. Maybe being in a bubble like we were was an advantage in the end. We were trapped inside this bubble where the noise from outside probably wasn't quite as loud as it normally would be. I was proud to walk into the change rooms after our first win and see smiles on people's faces. That really deserved that result. It was a really tough time right throughout the year when you come in week after week and you're not able to give people the reward they deserve. So that was a really proud moment for me as a coach. We've had really open dialogue with our players right throughout this year around what it looks like. We've prepared for 2021 earlier than most teams. We've known that finals haven't been a possibility, so the break is really important to us. There's still so much grey and uncertainty around what's happening with the draft and what's happening with our dates to come back and player lists, but at the same time our players know what's required, and it's really important that we get this break right.
Last week, Bryce Gibbs announced he would hang up the boots following the club's round 17 clash against Carlton. After an emotional farewell in front of his teammates, family and friends, Gibbsy travelled to the Gold Coast to play in his final AFL game, which was fittingly against his old side. We were there as the 268-game veteran received the perfect send-off.
Congratulations, great moment here.
And a couple of Carlton boys lift him up, and that's a beautiful sight, isn't it? That shows the solidarity of football and the love from both teams.
It was a really nice way to end a career that I've been so lucky and so grateful to have. 14 years, a lot of ups and downs, but met some absolutely amazing people, and both footy clubs have given so much to me. To finish with a win against some of my best mates, the two that cheered me off were in my wedding party, so obviously lifetime friends, and it's been a big week, big build-up and a lot of emotions. Hadn't slept very well all week, but last night I actually had the best sleep I've had all week, which was really good, and a lot of excitement leading into the game. And although it was a bit of a different build-up, just approached it like a normal game, or I tried to anyway. Got strapped and got everything I needed to done early, and just wanted to walk around. There was no one out there, which was really nice, really peaceful, and just took it all in and soaked it up for one more time.
Gibbs holds his ground, and good round of applause.
It's a nice first touch for him, Joe. Just wrapped to get that one out of the way.
The boys got me a couple of touches to settle the nerves, which was nice, and they gave me a few kick-ins earlier, so it was good to touch the ball, and we nearly ran out of legs there, but the boys hung on, and it was great to get a win. Took a few moments after the game with everyone. A couple of guys said some really nice things, and it was nice to just to sit there and again take it all in. I'm just so happy to sit here and the way it's panned out. I couldn't imagine it going any other way, so very, very lucky.
Stay tuned because there's plenty more to come on the show. After the break, we review the season through the eyes of the Crows development coach.
Welcome back to the Optus Crows Show. I'm Mark Bickley. The coronavirus pandemic forced the Crows to withdraw from the SANFL competition this year, but their young players have still been able to participate in scratch matches against numerous AFL sides. This has provided the opportunity for many newcomers to earn their debut this season, giving fans an exciting glimpse of the club's future. We caught up with development coach Heath Uni to reflect upon the past 6 months.
Probably really disappointed the 2020 season for us in the SANFL didn't go ahead. I personally feel it's a great grounding for our younger players to play week to week, albeit every club's in the same boat, and what we've been able to do is get a number of opportunities in trial matches when certainly we're in the hub. We're able to do that on a weekly basis, and more recently trying to get games in against Port on every second week. So I would question whether at what rate did they develop, but certainly if you ask them are they a better player now when they first come in, there's no question through our training and some of the habits they've been able to build Monday to Friday. Me personally as a coach, I've been able to create some opportunities to work closely with the players Monday to Friday, probably more than I have in the last few years, given no game to prepare for as such, like a SANFL game. And given the COVID restrictions as far as some of our coaches or our diminish of coaches. So for me, what I've learned is the importance of getting back up on the shed floor and getting the hands dirty and coaching them on the specific fundamentals of the game, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that, and probably part of that has been able to build stronger relationships with those guys. I think we're all sitting here waiting to what it looks like, and firstly, it'll be what the list sizes will be at AFL level, and we'll wait for that, and then we'll plan accordingly off the back of that. We don't know what the SANFL is going to look like as well.
During the off-season, make sure you visit afc.com.au to keep up to date with all the latest Crows news. Stay connected with the club via their social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and make sure you're following @The Crows Show on Twitter so you don't miss out on any of the stories from our program. Well, the players won't be the only ones embarking on a well-deserved break at the completion of the AFL season. Field umpires clock up a distance of around 14 kilometres per game, which outruns some of the athletes on the ground. We've reached into the Crows Show vault to discover what's involved in this important matchday role, thanks to Bendigo Bank.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
G'day guys, I'm Matt Nichols. I'm here today to umpire the Port Adelaide game. It's 2 hours before the start and we've just arrived. In terms of our pre-game, a couple of things we need to do. We need to go and visit the teams just to say g'day, see if anyone's got any questions, probably get a massage, plenty of time for us to warm up and have a chat amongst ourselves before we get out onto the ground 15 minutes before the game starts. So good luck to us today. I have to say it, probably no one else will.
Round 20 begins with a perfect centre bounce.
Okay, so it's half time, pretty tough conditions out there. It's been a bit wet, the wind's up. We've got about 15 minutes now to have a bit of a breather, have a drink, have a bit of a chat about how the game's going so far before we get out there for the second half.
Wingard can't find a way out. The determination on the tackle from Crouch is given the full reward.
That was a tough day. Clocked up about 15.5, 16 kilometres running out there, and it's fair to say I'm physically tired, but it was a great game of footy. Now we've got a few important things to do after the game. Obviously our own recovery is important, and then probably the most important part of our post-game job is to fill out the Brownlow medal. So, we'd love to have you come and see what happens, but I'd lose my job if you got a look at that. But I hope you've enjoyed this insight into a day in the umpire's life.
Coming up, we catch up with the Crows leadership group.
I'm incredibly proud of how well they've come along, the young boys and some of the older guys like Crouchy and Doedee standing up.
Well, there were no surprises when the Crows named Rory Sloane as their standalone skipper earlier this year. Together with a new look leadership team and the appointment of Daniel Jackson, the group has developed a new club culture that focuses on putting others first. We had a chat to Sloane and Tom Doedee to get their thoughts on the season.
I've been so lucky to have so many great leaders around me. I mean, Tom Lynch, really senior head, smart man, Tex, Tales, Cole Hardy and Dave McKay. These guys are the reason it makes it so much easier to lead this group, and they're the reason why we've finished off this year the way we have.
Adelaide captain loved to kick a long-range goal. 3 goals won in 7 games. He's going to take his best, and he has delivered. Oh, wow, what a statement from Rory Sloane.
Sloane's been incredible. All the leaders have, but Sloane in particular is just... I've learnt from him since I got here, but being able to work closely with him in the leaders, the way that he loves the club and he sees the game, but then also his care for the teammates, it's admirable. Every time he speaks in a leadership meeting or in a team meeting, you listen.
I think just accepting that things are the way they are and making the best of any situation, that's all you can do. And that's what we've looked to do this year, and it was quite tough. I mean, the worst thing is when you're in this role is when you can't influence what's happening game day, and I was just trying to find little ways during that period I was injured just to help out however way I could.
We've got to support each other as senior players and be the ones that are proactively bringing that energy, listening with the same passion you want to be heard.
The relationship side, I think we've got a great culture building here, and we've got the right people in place, and you're beginning to see that more and more as the year goes on in our performance, but it's been developed since Nixie and Cal got here, and I'm incredibly proud of how well they've come along, the young boys and some of the older guys like Crouchy and Doedee standing up, and I don't think we've changed anything specific. I think we've just narrowed down on what we knew could work. As a club, the way we're moving forward with Nixie and Cal and up top with Fags, it's a lot to look forward to, and I think as a group you can start to see that around the club and externally. There's a lot more smiles going on and everyone's pretty pumped for what's coming forward.
Well, the Crows said farewell to Bryce Gibbs last week after he announced his retirement from AFL footy. Thanks to Flight Centre, let's fly around social media to see how his teammates commemorated his career. If you've ever been involved in a local sporting organisation, you'd understand the importance that fundraising plays in generating much needed revenue. And that's why Toyota created the Good for Footy and Cricket raffles, initiatives that have raised over $10 million to support grassroots communities across Australia. Today we're visiting the Ingle Farm Football Club to see how the funds have helped to keep their teams competitive.
I'm Jed Pfeiffer and I'm the senior coach of the Ingle Farm Football Club. The club basically shouts community. We understand that we are a very football orientated club, but we are also well aware that we are also a sporting club. We have stuff here like darts and 8-ball, cricket in the summer, and that's also followed by netball and basketball.
My name is Nick Pope and I'm, one of the senior players now. So the footy club to me, means everything. So I decided to get involved with the Toyota Good for Footy raffle because every dollar that we got raised went to the club. So I thought, why not? I knew it was going to be hard with COVID sort of hanging around, but to Ingle Farm's credit, the people were fantastic and donated plenty.
We raised $5,620, which is a fantastic effort, obviously. That was done via basically social media. We basically set goals via social media on let's achieve this goal, let's be this spot in Australia or in this spot in South Australia even, and we're lucky enough that it was very successful for us.
The Toyota Good for Footy raffle has benefited us massively. It has given us $5,620 that we didn't have before. There's plenty of things that it'll go towards, you know, strapping, trainers.
Also, we'll put it towards senior and junior football development for the future, obviously, and also about making the players comfortable. So that could also mean a bit of a paint job in the change rooms, even lay some new carpet for the boys just so they're a bit more comfortable before training and before game. Obviously, finishing in the top 25 in Australia, it will basically put Ingle Farm on the map. You know, we're only a little Div 6 football club, but we also do want to become a powerhouse at some stage, and through time and effort, that will slowly happen.
After the break, we'll get Nixie's tip for the 2020 Premiership.
The Crows have certainly had a September to remember after winning the past 3 matches in a row. Thanks to Optus, let's scroll through social media to find out how the fans celebrated last Sunday's win against the Blues.
Supporters that attended the game on the Gold Coast certainly had a lot to smile about. There were calls for a Rising Star nomination and plenty of love for a retiring veteran. But nothing could beat that winning feeling.
Each week on the program, we've been asking senior coach Matthew Nicks a question thanks to Thomas Farms. Now, this week it's only fitting that we ask Nixie for his tip on who will win the 2020 AFL Premiership.
From a premiership point of view, it's hard to pick this early, but I thought we saw one of the best games of the season where Richmond took on Port Adelaide, and you know it was a great spectacle. It was high skilled, it was fast, it was punishing off turnover. Those two teams will be right up there fighting it out. I really like Brisbane. They're a young side that has really come into their own. In fact, I believe the Brownlow medalist will come from that Brisbane side in Lachie Neale. I think he's really hard to stop. Teams have tried tagging him, but he's an accumulator and he's an outstanding footballer. So, grand final, hard to pick because I gave you 3 teams, but I think it'll be definitely 2 of those 3.
Well, that brings us to the end of our final show for the season. But before we go, we wanted to say thank you to the entire Crows family for standing by the club in what has been a challenging year.
G'day Crows fans, members, supporters, Tex here. It's been a huge year for the football club. Challenging year early on, but we've been able to stick to the course.
Some of our young players have shown some great things the last couple of weeks, so we really appreciate your support.
I mean, the last month of footy at Adelaide Oval has been incredible. You've been so loud, the passion's been amazing, and the guys are feeding off that too.
We're pretty pumped for next year. We're pumped for these young boys, how they've developed, and Nixie and Cal, and the way that we've moved forward as a club, and hopefully we can get a win and finish off the year on a strong note.
Enjoy family time and look forward to seeing you next year. Go the Crows.
I know everyone's looking forward to 2021. Stick with us over the break and let's look forward to coming back bigger and stronger next year.
Thanks for your company today. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest Crows news during the off-season at afc.com.au and via the club's social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Stay tuned to Channel 7 to watch the Crows play their final game for the season against Richmond at the Adelaide Oval. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.